Hello everyone and welcome. I am Dr. Inception and we have one more video about Final Fantasy XIV. In this video we are gonna learn everything we should know about the Dark Knight and why this tank is so good. Check it out. Okay, we got a lot of stuff to talk about this tank. Let's start with there's so much things to talk about this guy. Let's talk about the Aoe combo, okay? I'm gonna use the striking them. So, let's say you are pulling a lot of mobs. Your Aoe combo is gonna be Unleash, alright? Unleash first. Then you go Stalwart Soul. And then you keep doing this, okay? Unleash, Stalwart Soul. You realize that by doing this, you increase this thing here, right? So, Unleash, Dark Soul. Unleash, Stalwart Soul. When you reach this mark, after 50, you're gonna be able to use the Quietus, which is this guy here. So, Unleash, 150 to all nearby enemies. Stalwart Soul, 160. And Quietus, 210. But Dark Knight has a property that if you have darkness, you give 10% more damage. In order to activate darkness, you will have to use Edge of Shadow or Flood of Shadow. Flood of Shadow, in this case, is a skill that goes in line in front of you, 300 to all enemies, in a straight line. So, what you're gonna do, you're gonna pull the mobs, you're gonna use the Unleash, you're gonna use the Stalwart Soul, and you're also gonna use the Flood of Shadow. By the time you use the Flood of Shadow, you can also use it first, because if you use it first, you're gonna increase the damage of the Unleash and the Stalwart Soul. So you go Unleash, Stalwart Soul, and then Quietus. But there is something that I want to talk to you, that is the Blackest Night. That's a defense, okay? That's a defensive skill. It creates a barrier around target that absorbs damage, totaling 25% of target's maximum HP. The duration is 7 seconds and the recast is 15 seconds, alright? So, you hear that right. The duration is 7 seconds and the recast is 15 seconds only. So use the Blackest Night, and if you take damage, it grants Dark Arts when barrier is completely absorbed. What is Dark Arts? Dark Arts is this thing that remains right here. With Dark Arts, you can actually use Flood of Shadow and Edge of Shadow without having to pay for the mana cost, because those skills cost 3,000 each one, okay? It's very expensive. So, you're gonna pull mobs, you're gonna use the Flood of Shadow in order to receive some darkness and increase your damage. Then you go Unleash, right? Then you go Stalwart Soul. But while this, you have the Blackest Night on, and you are taking damage from a lot of mobs, alright? Next time you're gonna use the Flood of Shadow, you're not gonna use your mana. You're gonna use the Dark Arts, which is a separated mana that is gonna pop up right here. That's the combo that you do when you are pulling mobs. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 skills, and while the mobs are stationary and you are trying to kill them, you're gonna use the Salted Earth, which is patch of Salted Earth, dealing unexpected damage with a potential of 6 to any enemies who enter. So that's AoE damage over time. like this. So you pull the mobs, you use the Flood of Shadow in order to guarantee you darkness and increase your damage. You use the Unleash, alright? You use the Stay with Soul, and then you keep using the Unleash and Steal Your Soul, and while this you have the Blackest Night activated because you want the Dark Arts, and then you keep using the Unleash, Steal Soul, and then you activate the Quetus, and then you use the Quetus. That is what you do in order to AoE with Dark Knight. So we have 3 defensive skills, alright? We have the Blackest Night, we have the Rampart with reduced damage taken by 20%, and we also have the Shadow Wall with reduced damage taken by 30%. We also have a Dark Mind with reduced magic vulnerability by 20%, the duration is 10 seconds only, and we also have something to the party which is called Dark Missionary and reduces magic damage taken by self and other party members by 10%, which is that skill here, right? Those are all the defensive skills that we have. Okay, that's the defensive part, alright? And that's the AoE attack. Now let's talk about the single target. The single target, you have the Blood Weapon, which is something that increases your Blood Gauge by 10. Blood Gauge is that thing here, okay? You need the Blood Gauge in order to use the Living Shadow, which is a clone, and in order to use the Blood Spiller, which is an attack with a potential of 600, and it spends Blood Gauge cost of 50, okay? Those are the 2 skills that use the and also the Quetus. So if you use this guy here, the Blood Weapon, you're gonna receive more mana and more Blood Gauge when you use your primary skills, which is the Hard Slash, Sinful Strike, and the Soul Eater, right? That's what you do. See, you got the Blood Gauge, so you can cast the Living Shadow, which is this guy here, right? So let's say you're dealing with a boss, okay? So you're doing this, right? You have your defense up, which is the Rampart. You have the Blackest Night up, and you are doing your combo, right? You're doing your combo 1, 2, 3. If you have more mana, you can use the Edge of Shadow in order to get darkness. And if you have the Blackest Night activated and you took damage, you're not gonna need to spend mana. You're gonna use the Edge of Shadow with the Dark Arts, okay? So you keep doing your combo, right? And while you're doing your combo, you can also add the skill Carven Spit, which is a DCG, okay? You just add it in your combo. It's a single target skill with a potential of 450. We forgot something very important. During your AoE that you are pulling a lot of mobs, you can also use the skill Abyssal Drain, which is a AoE of potential of 200 and targets all enemies nerfed and restore on HP. So that's a skill. AoE gives damage and also restore HP for you while you are pulling a lot of mobs. That's a very nice skill, Abyssal Drain, and it's a ranged skill, okay? It's a ranged skill, so it's good for you to get back some HP and don't make your healer waste so much mana, alright? So that's your single combo, right? Hard Slash, you got the Siphon Strike, you got the Soul Eater, and if you have this thing up, you can also use the Blood Spiller, which is a skill that uses the Blood Gauge, right? If you reach level 6-8, you're gonna have the Delirium, which is something that makes the Dark Knight all DPS, alright? As I said, this thing spend Blood Gauge, it costs 50, it's a lot, but if you use the Delirium, it's gonna have a duration of 10 seconds and you're gonna be able to use the Blood Spiller without the cost, like this. Through 10 seconds, you're gonna be able to use the Blood Spiller, which is a single target skill with a potential of 600 without paying the Blood Gauge cost. So let's say the boss is about to die and you need DPS. that's the time for you to use this skill. Use the Delirium, and right before this you use the Blood Spiller. Just keep spamming the Blood Spiller, which is a very strong skill. Also, when you are pulling mobs, you can also use the Reprisal, which reduces damage dealt by nearby enemies by 10%. It makes your healer more comfortable, and it gives you more defense. We pull mobs with the Amends, and you also pull mobs with the Provoke. You also have the skill to pass the Provoke, like any other tanks, and basically that. And you also have the Living Dead. Living Dead, as you know, all the tanks has like a ultimate skill, but the ultimate skill from the Dark Knight is a little dangerous. All right, if you use the Living Dead, you're gonna be invulnerable. All right, and after 10 seconds, if your HP was not maximum healed, you're gonna die. That's it. So the healer has to pay attention in when you use that skill. You're gonna have a debuff, so the healer has to pay attention. If you use this skill, the healer will have to heal up everything, all your HP. So if you're playing with a White Mage, for example, that has a skill that heals up all your HP, that's perfect in this situation. Otherwise, other healers will have to heal up all your HP, and that's the skill that diverts 25% of the enemy to targets and party members. That's basically the Dark Knight, which in my opinion it's a very strong tank. It's a very resistant tank. It has a very nice DPS, and it got a very nice combo to play. I like the way we have a lot of AoEs, and I like the fact that while we are defending ourselves, we are generating mana in order to use other skills, and while we use other skills and we receive darkness, we increase our damage, and while we are doing our combo with the blood weapon activated, we receive more mana and we receive more blood gauge, which means we are gonna be able to use the Living Shadow, and we are gonna be able to use the Blood Spiller more frequently. That's it. Alright guys and girls, thank you very much for joining this video and watching. If you like, leave a like and subscribe to our channel. I'm gonna try to make videos every day, and also we have a Twitch channel every day 7 PM to 1 AM GMT -3. We're gonna be playing Final Fantasy, so if you have any doubts, leave in the comments, and all this information is at the description of this video. See you in the next video, or maybe at the Twitch. Bye bye.